Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kami and I am a part-time clothing, shoes, and accessories seller on the Poshmark app, which means I go to places like thrift stores and garage sales, pick up name brand items, and then I will sell them online for a profit. So I like to do tips and tricks videos like this one, what sold videos, and haul videos. So if you're interested in that type of content, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe. We have hit 250 subscribers and my goal for the end of 2021 is to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you could just take a minute to do that, it'd be great. And if you want to, you can hit the bell notification and it'll notify you every time I put out a new video, which is typically 1 to 2 times a week. So I will link the video up here, but at the beginning of 2021, I did kind of a recap of my sales in 2020, which was the first year that I started reselling, and I did a top 10 selling brands for me. And so I wanted to kind of do a very similar video now. However, I wanted to do so far in 2021, what are the brands that have been selling best for me? And so I have my top 6 selling brands so far in 2021 in this video. I'm going to tell you what those brands are, what sizes I like to pick up in those brands, how much I'm willing to pay for them, and typically where I can find them at in my thrift stores. I'll also kind of give you a range of what I typically sell that brand for. Of course, there can be outliers, but we're going to go with the average and the most common prices that I sell those items for. So if you're interested in this, make sure to keep watching and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. All right, so we're gonna start with number 6, which is Nike. So Nike is number 6, and I have actually sold 6 total items of Nike so far this year. We are in the first 2 months of the year, so a lot of activewear is selling, and I was kind of surprised to see this on the list. However, it makes sense, right? Activewear, Nike's a brand name that most people recognize, so I do like to pick Nike up. However, I typically will only pay $5 and less for it unless it is a substantial piece. I did just recently pick up a vintage Nike windbreaker jacket. I will insert a picture here. I have not listed it yet, or at least at the time that I'm filming this video, but if you want to check out what I have my Poshmark linked down below. But I did end up paying, I think, $6 or $7 for this jacket just because I knew that I could get a higher price for it than just an average modern Nike piece. So I will pick up all sizes of Nike. However, I do love to pick up the plus sizes or even extra large and up. I think Poshmark considers extra large still a normal range and not in their plus size range of sizes, but I like to pick those sizes up. I feel like they are more sought after. They can be harder to find in stores and in the reselling community in general. So I do like to pick up those sizes in particular, but I will pick up all sizes. And because I will only pay $5 or less for them, I typically pick it up at garage sales or the Goodwill bins. Occasionally I'll pick it up at Goodwill or kind of mom and pop thrift stores, if you will. But I like to pick it up where I can and get it as cheap as I can. Typically the average Nike item for me will sell between $15 and $20. And after Poshmark takes their fee, I have to consider that when I am picking up and paying a certain price for those items. Coming in at number 5 is Maurices. It did technically tie with Nike as far as the number of items I sold. I've sold 6 Maurices items so far in 2021. This is a brand that I think is typically thought of as a plus size brand. They do have normal sizes too, but definitely I think it's just more prominent for a plus size shop. So I did sell 6 items, and I typically will only pick up sizes 2X and up, again, because I personally, in my experience of reselling and even just being a plus size woman, I think of it as a plus size brand. And so I will pick up those higher sizes. Not to say that if someone was giving me those like lower sizes, I wouldn't, not to say I wouldn't keep those and sell them, but for me actually picking it up, I try to stick to 2X and up, and I will only pay up to $3 typically for those items. So therefore I only pick it up at the garage sales that I go to in the summer, as well as the Goodwill bins, just because my Goodwill's average pricing is typically higher than that for both pants and shirts. In addition to that, When I have sold Maurices in the past, typically I only get between $12 and maybe $18 for Maurices items. They're just, I feel, not as sought after as a brand like Torrid or even Lane Bryant. So I do need to pick it up at a lower cost so I can still make money off of those items. Speaking of Lane Bryant, that came in at number 5. I again sold 6 items of Lane Bryant so far this year. So Lane Bryant was one of my top sellers last year as well. I think everything on this list was a top seller last year, but Lane Bryant is a brand that I like. However, I do think a lot of their items can be a bit more of a more mature plus size brand and style. So what I try to look for in Lane Bryant is I try to look for their newer sizes. I try to look for their newer brand tag, and typically like on jeans, I can tell this because they actually have a little tag that'll say the name of the pair of jean or pant, and they only recently started doing that in the last 1 to 2 years. So those are really easy to pick up on. As far as tops, I really just look for style, if it's a current style and if it looks in good condition. In Lane Bryant, although they do have like 14, I think is the lowest they go, I actually only try to pick up 18 and up, just because in my experience, I have tried to sell those 14 to 16 sizes and they don't move at all. Again, I think Lane Bryant is thought of as more of a Torrid true plus size brand, and so when bigger people like myself want a good quality plus size brand, those are the type of brands we look for. I try to only pay up to $5 for this. Again, there are exceptions. The newer jeans I will pay up to $7.99, which is what my local Goodwills price all of their jeans at. So there are exceptions, but I like to pay only up to $5. So again, Goodwill bins, garage sales, and sometimes for stores like Goodwill or Salvation Army, in particular if they have a sale going on. For Lane Bryant, I typically will see sales between $13-ish to about $20. So again, I have to keep my cost of goods really low. Coming in at number 3 is a brand that was not on my top 10 list last year, I don't believe, and it is Lululemon. So I've definitely found more Lululemon at the end of last year and the beginning of this year than I did in the beginning of me picking it up. I'm able to find it a little bit easier now that I know where to look for different tags and things like that. So I have sold so far in 2021 9 Lululemon items, and I love picking up Lululemon. Just the name, it has that recognition for it for being a active wear, cozy, athleisure type wear brand. So I think going from 2020 to 2021, people are looking for that type of clothing. I will pick up all Lululemon sizes. However, I love to find those 10s and 12s, and they now actually have started selling actual plus sizes, but I don't think those are in, people are donating those sizes yet, but I love picking up the higher sizes because they are more rare. They don't get out into thrifting and donating world, so I do like to pick those up. They are sought after. I will actually pay up to $10 for Lululemon. In my area, most places or most people that are selling them at garage sales know what they are, and so they will price them up higher, and that's fine with me because typically my Lululemon will sell from about $22 to about $35 is usually my average, unless again it's somewhat of a more rare piece or something like that. So I am willing to pay up to $10 for them, which means that I can pick them up at garage sales, I can pick them up at thrift stores, and occasionally I'll even find them at the Goodwill bins. Usually those are like tank tops or shorts, but I love finding them there because it's a really cheap cost of goods. Coming in at number 2, I believe is also not on last year's top 10 selling brands, and that is another athletic athleisure brand, and it is Athleta. So I definitely love picking up Athleta. I love how easy it is to find the style name and style number on their items, particularly the pants. It also tied with Lululemon that I have sold 9 Athleta items so far in 2021. Again, like Lululemon, I will pick up all their sizes, but I particularly love to pick up the higher sizes just because they are more sought after, I feel, because there is less of them out there in the reselling market, as well as I love to pick up their tall, 10 tall, 12 tall, whatever, because again, those are specific sizes that not a lot of people can find pre-owned and usually have to pay a lot of money to buy them from the store directly. I will typically pay up to $6, maybe even $7 for them. So typically I will find them at thrift stores. Interestingly enough, in my area, I don't find them a lot at garage sales. I don't know if it's because people just donate it or they hold on to them, but I haven't been able to find them a lot at garage sales, but I do pick them up quite frequently at Goodwills. For Athleta, they have somewhat of the same sale range as Lululemon. Typically, I will sell them for $20 to $30, and that is usually, again, an average. I have sold a few other items a little bit higher than that just because of the pattern or the sizing. And finally, the top selling brand for me so far in 2021 is actually no shocker. It was my top selling brand last year in 2020, and that is Torrid. So I can find usually a lot of Torrid in my area, and usually for relatively inexpensive. I have sold so far in 2021 23 Torrid items, and I love selling Torrid. Again, super easy to find the style number, find it online, get the style name, everything like that. Torrid is a very good quality plus size brand. I'm actually wearing all Torrid. My headband is Torrid, my top is Torrid, and my pants are also Torrid. So I personally love them as a plus size woman. And like I said, I do find them very frequently in my area, all at garage sales, the bins, the thrift stores, Salvation Armies, Goodwills, all of that. So typically I will pay up to $6, $7 for them, depending upon that item. Again, if it's new attire or something like that, I could pay a little bit more. Typically, Torrid will sell between $15 and up to $30. So I don't make a whole lot of money off of it. So that's why I do have to keep my cost of goods a little bit lower, but it is a very fast seller for me. I've had Torrid items sell within a day of listing them, especially the newer items. And so I love picking up Torrid, and I love being able to provide a quality plus size brand to reseller community shoppers. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight as to what brands are selling well for me on Poshmark, as well as maybe some brands that you hadn't really picked up before or have seen in your area but just haven't looked it up. I know quite a few of those are just more, again, well-known brands, but I hope you guys got some good info out of this, and I hope to see you in my next video.